So, good evening. My name is Heather Nickerson, co-founder and CEO of Artifacts, along with my co-founder, Ellen Goodwin. We're here tonight for Evenings with Artifacts, how to create a digital baby book. We're going to be sharing the ins and outs of using artifacts to capture all those precious memories, those firsts, those milestones, and everything in between. Before we jump into the hands-on portion of the event tonight, using our inspiration list and some of our resources, we wanted to set the stage with a bit of a conversation about why we're talking about baby books. And also share right up front, neither Ellen nor I have actually ever successfully created a physical baby book. There have been multiple attempts over the years, and I'll even share, this is my latest. I have a bin of all the things I meant to put into a baby book and never did. Thankfully, I've had artifacts for that now. But as we get going on this, we wanted to set the stage with some really interesting facts and figures we found researching this topic. So in the US alone, or Amazon alone, just on Amazon, there are over 7,000 different entries for baby books or memory books. The most popular sold multiple thousands of copies last month alone. So you think about that. People are searching every single day and purchasing every single day all these baby books. And yet we've heard that less than 80% of these books are ever actually completed, which, as you can see from the two of us, we're par for the course. We're part of that 80%. And we suspect, based on feedback from our members over the past couple of weeks ahead of the session, that there's a lot of people out there. We're all in the same boat. We have the best intentions. We started collecting the things for a baby book, and then life got in the way. It happened, time flew by, the kids grew up, and we're still staring at either a bin or a half-completed book. I think we have some folks in chat tonight who noted, Trudy noted she 3/4 completed one, and the second one maybe 1/4 completed. And Trudy, you're not alone. Most parents, if they complete a baby book, it's for the first child. The percentage of completion for each subsequent child dwindles rapidly. It gets harder and harder, right? You have so many more stressors to add to your life that someday you think you'll get to that book. And then someday it becomes some month and some year. And if you're like us, you still have a bin of all that baby stuff and no book.
Well, in fairness, I do want to contribute that I started digital, unlike Heather. So when my daughter was little, I created a blog. It was private, but I made a blog. And so I thought, okay, if I'm sitting there in the rocking chair, I can at least do something digital. But the problem is, and Heather's going to talk about this, the blog, the infrastructure is decaying. Photos are just randomly removed from blog posts. Some blog posts I can't open. And apparently I need to migrate this, and I have been migrating it to Artifacts, but the format that you choose can also become a problem.
And that's what happened to me too. I did make the first year photo book. I had all the photos of my daughter from, the first days all the way up to the first year. And I made a beautiful hard copy book on an Apple supported software, which no longer is actually used or even sold or even incorporated by Apple. So I have no way of reprinting this book. But you can imagine after 13 plus years, the book is in need of probably a good reprint. And I can't do it. There's no way to actually reprint that book now that the software is no longer supported or even manufactured. So we're going to dive into tonight how to make a digital baby book using artifacts. We're going to show you some of our favorites we've done over the past couple of years with our children. And then we're going to walk you through a step-by-step process. We're going to do one artifact on our desktop, and then we're going to do one artifact on the app and even include a QR code sticker. So as we're going through the demo, we'd love for you to follow along at home. And if you want to, share what you're artifacting with the group as well. So here we go. Let's launch into tonight's conversation. I am going to quickly share my screen and pull up our inspiration checklist. We can kind of set the stage with what fun artifacts could go into a digital baby book to get us started. All right, let's go over to our and there's also, we wrote an article about those baby books. Ellen can pop that into chat so you'll have that as a reference. Here we go. Let's look at our inspiration list. So we have our Oh Baby list. And these are all the items we ourselves either have artifacted or we've seen our community members artifact, or we've heard from other parents, oh my gosh, I wish I had preserved this memory or this moment. So some of the items we have on this list are first photo, the coming home outfit, maybe the favorite lovey or favorite toy, maybe the hospital bracelet, sonogram, maybe there's a birth announcement, maybe there's a special gift. And then with artifacts, because you can include audio and video, maybe you're lucky to have those first words, or maybe those first smiles, or as they grow, that first time riding a bike. There's so many great firsts you can do when you start with baby and then move all the way through toddlerhood and the childhood years. I know the baby book that I purchased went all the way up to year 5. So there's a lot of great things you can do when thinking about how do you document, what items do you choose to artifact and make part of the story of your child or your children. So I'm also going to share a couple of my favorite artifacts. I've cheated. I've already logged into my account. For those of you who are new to artifacts, I've logged into my account and I've pinned my favorites right here using this pin. So you're now seeing a little small sample of some of my favorite artifacts I've made of either my daughter or her creations over the years. I wanted to highlight here, one of the ones we have on our checklist is sonogram. So I have the sonogram, and in the artifact, I'm not going to open it because it is a private artifact. I have the entire story of that day, what it was like seeing it for the first moment, what it was like being there, realizing that I have a baby girl. It was very exciting. I have down here her first handprint. And this is a fun one. We did a mother-daughter art class 18 months old when she was 18 months old, and the children had to do a handprint. And you can see from the indentation, she tried grabbing the clay as she was making the handprint, which always makes me smile and laugh. She had no interest in doing the handprint. She just wanted to play and touch and feel with that clay. So this is what the finished artifact looks like. I've got the photo of the handprint. I've got the story. I have the details as well. If I wanted to, I could pop a QR code onto this, and Ellen's going to show us how to do this on the app as well. But I could pop the QR code on the back, which I have done because I did save this. So my daughter one day was just coming across that bin of stuff that I've saved. Again, here's the bin. She can pull out the handprint, scan the QR code on the back, and know the story behind the handprint. I'm going to go back to my favorites here and pull up another one. This is one, again, admittedly not a baby, but that first artwork, those first creations, since we're heading into the holiday times, this always makes me smile and makes me laugh as well. It was one of her first creations, her Thanksgiving turkey. And you can see being in kindergarten, spelling was not her strong suit. But this is, again, one of those items that always makes me smile. And I, again, have the QR code. I can go back and edit it. It's all right there. I'm going to pull up an artifact that also has some audio and video on it. I think actually this is probably a good one. Learning to ride a bike. And again, you could do first words. You could do first smiles. You could do learning to crawl, learning to walk. I will admit, I didn't have a smartphone until my daughter was 4 or 5 years old. So I still relied on a digital camera, and I've got to go back and probably save some of those photos and first videos. But this is actually one of the first videos I took on the smartphone of her, and I've got a really fun story, but I've got the video. So one day she can go back and see it for herself. That first time she got the hang of actually riding the bike and then never looked back. So that's the joy of artifacting, incorporating audio and video. The other really, for me, one of my favorite reasons of why I've used artifacts to capture, preserve, and share those firsts, those baby moments, comes down to our timelines. And I'm here, I'm going to go in and show you my timeline for all the artifacts. I have a custom tag for my daughter that's called That's My Girl. Ellen uses her daughter's name. You can make as many tags as you want. You can have one for each child. You can have funny sayings. You can have categories of the first year, the first 5 years. You can make a custom tag really for any category you like. But for me, I have That's My Girl. When I view the timeline, I can see over the years all those moments, all those first, all those memories, all right there. I can also see gaps. I know for a fact my daughter was creating stuff from 2019 to 2020. I've got to go hunt those down. I can see also that I have a giant gap during her toddler years. Again, one of my missions to hunt that down and find stuff in there. And then the year she was born. I have 0 artifacts from that year. Talk about being nap trapped. I don't think I had a spare moment. And I also, again, didn't have a smartphone. I was still on my digital camera. So I've got to go back somewhere and find those old SD cards, those memory cards, and figure out where are those photos. As far as my daughter's timeline goes, it starts with her sonogram. Tonight, I'm actually going to artifact her first photo, which will give me at least one more artifact for 2011. So again, going off of our inspiration list, one of the first categories is first photo. And I realize I'm guilty as charged. I did not capture my daughter's first photo from when she was born. So we're gonna do that together live tonight. I'm going to go here. For those of you following along at home, this is a great time to open up your accounts and take time to, if you have a favorite photo on your phone from those early years, if you happen to have brought your bin of stuff out of storage for the session tonight, pick an item, follow along, and let's create a new artifact. So I'm going to hover right there. Let me move the little screen out of the way. Hover right here over to new artifact. I am going to I've already saved the photo on my desktop, so I'm going to upload it. But you could choose any of your devices to do so. You could drag and drop the photos. You could also import from one of our secure connections. I'm going to pop over to desktop. I'm going to add the photo. Here we go. Put a little fun caption, Hazel's first morning at home. This might be the first and only time she took a nap for the first 3 months, which will be a fun part of the story to share. I don't know about you all, but my daughter did not like to nap. They always say to sleep when your baby slept. There's a reason I have no documentation from her first year because she never slept. I never got a moment to do anything. So I'm going to name my artifact. We'll call it baby's first photo or first morning home. It's totally up to you what you want. What is it? So here I'm going to pop in and pick the category Life's Moments. I'm going to pick firsts and also photographs. You can pick more than one category when you're making your artifacts. I'm going to pop over to story, and this is where you can always go back and add more to the story. I think of one thing that Ellen always reminds us here at Artifacts about is that don't let perfection stand in the way of progress. Get started. You could start with 5 words and then add another 500 afterwards. Doesn't matter where you start. So for the purposes of tonight's demo, I'm going to put Hazel's first photo at home, probably the one and only time she took a nap. All right, country of origin. I'm going to pop in United States. You can also always, we have unknown right there, not applicable, an easy choice, or of course, search for any country you want. I don't want to make this my default. Some folks may want to make this a default. I do a lot of traveling. I have a lot of artifacts from living overseas, so I don't want to make that a default, not now. But you can always choose to do so. In the future, I want this photo to be kept in the family. And I do have this one framed in my bedroom. So my daughter has a nice framed photo of herself one day. Tags, I'm going to tag this since I've got that tag for her. See, that's my girl right there. Perfect. If I wanted to add more details to this, I could also go over to full form and add in occasions. I could add in when acquired or approximately how old is this. This is important for the timeline feature I showed you. When you add either in when acquired or how old it is, that is how the timeline knows where to populate it on the timeline. So I'm going to pick exact year We'll go 2011. We'll be good to go. When I down here, click save. And now we've got an artifact. I could also, as I go back through my digital files, I could always add audio and video later as well. So now I have the option to share. At Artifacts, if you're new to Artifacts, every artifact is private by default. If I wanted to make it public, I could toggle the switch and pop it into Facebook or any of the social platforms you see here. But I don't want to. I want to keep this private out of respect for my daughter's privacy, but I want to share. So I can go down here and you can share with a person or with a group. So I'm going to share quickly with a couple of family members. And I can say, remember when, and then I can click share. I could also decide if I want to ask them to add details. Right now, I've given them view access. I could go in and say, you know what, actually, they may remember details I don't, right? I was a new mom. I had that like new mom brain fog going on. I could give them editor access and ask them to add details. And now we're collaborating on the story and the artifact together. But I'm gonna keep it view access, click done, off it goes. And now you'll be able to see the finished artifact in just a moment. Here we go, back into my page. You can see what we just made. Baby's first photo. So less than 5 minutes, I now have an artifact of my daughter, her first photo. It's a great starting point. I want to pop back over to my timeline and you can see now, we're going to go back over to my account. Oops, I got to move a little video image over to my artifacts. I want to view it in timeline. I no longer have that gap from 2011, right? That's going to be a nice mission accomplished. I added an artifact. Gap is done. Here we go. Scroll back down. 2011. There we go. I've got one done from my list of 2011. That's how easy it can be when working to slowly and surely go through again that inspiration list of all of those firsts to add to a digital baby book. I'm going to turn it over to Ellen now to show on the app how easy this is. If you're at home with a little one and you truly are nap trapped, you can use your mobile phone and get through that digital baby book in no time.
Thank you, Heather. She's going to let me share my screen. And I'm actually going to show you 2 quick artifacts on desktop, and then I'm going to pop over, as she said, to mobile so that you can experience that. So here's my lessons learned. I hope they help you. So I mentioned I used a blog. So this is a great example of I'm not aiming for perfection. I literally, for the moment, took a picture of the blog pages and put them in here. I can click and see the full pages because I didn't want to go find the photos again and recreate each of the pages. But I was so afraid that the blog would literally disappear overnight that so I grabbed those pictures, I grabbed the text that was already from it, and I popped it in here. So I was very eager to not have perfection, but to save that from destruction. That was my big concern. And I just want to shore up what Heather said too about the value of audio video. I also have the bike kind of example. And I think that the other thing that I love about this is you can create video and audio now too. And what I mean by that is I have an artifact that's an older one of my daughter, and she couldn't say the word yellow. So I did rescue that from my video collection, and I have her.
Hey, Pilot, what color is Tico's car?
Lelo. So I did rescue older videos that way. But at the same time, looking to see if I have a good, oh, so here's the blog, right? I'm telling you folks, go rescue things. Our little gremlin blog, I did rescue. But I want to show you one. I'm just going to search for it. It is called, which one am I looking for? Oh, Shel Silverstein. Anyone know that poet where the sidewalk ends? So in this case, I didn't have an old recording. My daughter loved, when she was itty bitty, a particular poem. So I artifacted the books on my bookshelf and the inscription from my mother when she gave them to me when I was little. And then for my daughter, I recorded Twistable Turnable Man. He's the twistable turn. I recorded me reading that to her so that she has the recording in my voice. And so if you're going back in time, like one of our current members, she told us she's in her mid-70s and she's now artifacting to make baby books. It's never too late. We hold memories that our children, our grandchildren don't have. And so I think that's kind of the fun aspect of what we're doing. And before I leave here go over to the mobile app, I want to show you one more thing. We do have the option to literally print these to a book. So as Heather said, I use the tag of my daughter's name, Violet. If I wanted to print a book, I could do that. I can click in the corner when I hover, I see the green, and I can click and check any one of them that I would like to add to a book. Camp mail from my daughter, first days of school, etc. I could pick a theme. And then once I've done that, I have 6 selected, you see along the bottom. I can share these with our partner at Akin. And when I share this with Akin, they will lay them out in a book that I have purchased. So to purchase, when you go on our website, under services, concierge services, at the bottom, we have right now the process for ordering a book to publish your artifacts. This is great for all of us who don't actually complete books. So you can always create the artifacts and she will lay them out in a template of your choice. There's a link there to go to her website where you can choose your template and she'll do that work for you. So that's our workaround for people like us who struggle, or, the holidays are here in a blink and you don't have time. She can help do that for you. So with that, I am going to move over to mobile, and feel free to add any questions or ideas or things that you want to artifact into chat, because we are dying with curiosity. So here I go over to mobile. I hope.
It's still thinking, but that's okay.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. Success. All right. So I have the app open, and
Ellen, we can't see your screen on mobile. It's still showing your web screen.
Let me stop share and reshare. Sharing screen. I'm just going to share everything, and then somehow you're going to magically see it, folks. Okay, let's do this again.
Nope, still the same inspiration list.
Yep, just a second. I haven't done it yet.
Okay. While you're doing that, Mary Pat had a great question. Are both the text and photos printed in the book? Is it one artifact on each page? So yes, both the text and the photos. And there's even a QR code for each artifact back to the original. So if you included video and audio, when you get to that page of that artifact, you can scan the QR code and go right back to the artifact, and up pops the video, the audio, all the details, but everything is there in the book.
Are you seeing my mobile now?
Yes. Good to go.
Okay, super. All right, so I'm signed in, was the only thing I wanted to show you. Oh, how will I show you this? Okay, I have a bag. Can you see? And it is a Snow White costume that was stunning, that my mother made for my daughter. And I have it in this bag, and I have artifacted it. But what I haven't done is attached a QR code so I can see the story. So I'm got a sticker from Artifacts, and now I scanned it, and it says, what do I want to do with this new sticker? Well, in this case, I already have an artifact about the Snow White dress. So I'm going to say I want to add the sticker to an existing artifact. And now I'm going to find Snow White, because it's fabulous. There we go. And there, this is it. Snow White. I chose an existing artifact, and it says, do you want to confirm that this is what you're trying to attach it to? In case you like fat finger it, right? I could have clicked the dock by accident. Yes, I want the Snow White. Confirm. And it says, great. Peel and safely affix your sticker to the item. And you're done. And now I will be able to scan that. I'm going to show you in just a second. It's asking me a lot of questions. I'm going to do this. Sorry, folks. I don't know why it's asking so many questions. My phone, not my app. So now what's really cool on the app, you still see the app, Heather?
Yes.
Okay. I can click the QR code in the search bar. Beep. I can scan this QR code. I hope my lighting is so bad. My phone isn't focusing. It's too dark. There we go. All right. I need brighter lights, folks. Well, in a great world, while we're doing this, I would be able to scan this QR code sticker. I wonder if I could turn on a lamp. Sorry, folks. Okay, I can just not do that right now. All right, I will show you some other way. Snow White. So the idea is when you put the QR code sticker on and you actually have good lighting, you can scan it and it'll take you directly to the artifact. You can also, as Heather told you, print a QR code at any time. So if I click the QR code on the artifact, it'll say, do you want to print one? And there it goes, and I can download it or go so I can print it, or I can always add another sticker that way. But now you see down here in tags how it says QR stickered. That's my indication that I have stickered this item already. And all tags, Violet, costume, Disney, QR code stickered, are clickable. If I click that QR code stickered, it works best on desktop, I will admit. It's going to show me anything people have shared with me publicly here. That's where it took me, is the public QR code stickered. I can see anything that has been QR code stickered. If I want to do that same hashtag over on my artifacts, I can see anything I have actually QR stickered as well. So that is all I want to show you on mobile. We're a big fan of the QR codes, big fan of being able to search by them as well, and being able to print them. And you can do that for free. You see a ring, a necklace on the screen that I got from my husband. I have a QR code inside the box that I store it with. You scan it, it pops a story, but most importantly, in this case, because I'm going to give it to my daughter, it also has the documentation too. I think that's it for here, Heather.
Great. Thank you, Ellen. We've got a couple of questions in chat regarding QR codes. So I wanted to quickly answer them. Karen asked, are we able to scan one of the established QR codes? We have to be in the app. No, you can scan it straight from your phone. And the follow-up question was, is the video tag automatically applied to the app based on receiving a video file? Yes, video, audio, and QR stickered are automatically applied tags within the app. So if you are searching through all of your videos, all of your audios, or even for the QR code stickers, they all pop up very easily. And I wanted to add with regards to the QR code sticker. Great, Karen, you beat me to the question. Yes, so does a person scanning the code have to have an Artifacts account or have been provided access to you somehow? If you made the artifact public, they do not have to have an account to see the artifact if they scan the QR code. If, however, the artifact is private, like all of my artifacts regarding my daughter are, they would need to have an account, and you do have to grant them access. So if they scan the QR code, say if my aunt came into our house and was so happy to see us and started picking up all the different photo frames and scanning QR codes on the back, if I hadn't given her access beforehand, I would get a notification and I could allow her access. I could give her access, or I could deny her access to view the artifacts. So you do have the ability to control who sees it when they scan the QR code. We wanted to ensure that privacy first stance carried forward to the actual artifacts and QR codes. Yes, in real time, then yes, Karen. Yep. And you can control that in your settings. You can pick, in our settings, we have different ways of choosing when you receive notifications. And you can choose instantly, daily, weekly, it's all right there. But for instance, I have instant notifications when people request access to my artifacts. So I will get a real-time notification in that regard. I want to go back to our baby. Oh, sorry. Ellen, were you jumping?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and show you all. So I'm in FAQs and we have a whole section on QR codes and QR code stickers that will help you out. And there's a video in our FAQs as well for you to watch. And to Heather's point about the notification settings, up here is the In the bell menu is on your mobile app as well. In the bell menu, you get all these notifications along with any comments that people might send you. Like this one, I see a comment, he's just starting. A friend's husband is artifacting his entire sports memorabilia collection. It's very exciting. But to manage your email-based alerts as well as your instant notifications, you can go here. We take it very seriously, not crowding your inbox and making sure you're only getting the notifications you want. So here you can say send all by a certain frequency, or you can customize it one by one by one. I have the app, so I actually have notifications turned on the app, so I don't get many emails because I will see the notification on my app, and that's my preference. But you can decide here which ones you want, and you can also here set custom alerts just by keyword. So if someone creates an artifact that's public or shared with you, and you want to know about it because it talks about a certain concept, like here I have typewriter. I have a typewriter I love, and I love antique typewriters. And so if anyone shares an artifact with me about a typewriter, I get an alert. So that's how you can control those, is here under the bell menu. You can get there with manage email-based alerts, or you can get there from your account settings, which is just the notification settings, same way to get there. Okay, back to you, Heather.
Great. Thanks, Ellen. We've got a question in chat about what are some of the things we'll be artifacting next, since we still haven't completed our baby books. And I wanted to share a couple of items from the bin, which again, don't let perfection stay in the way of progress. I have my daughter's first handprint, have not artifacted this yet. Tonight, after our session, I'll snap a quick photo, add some details. It's artifacted. I can always come back later and add to the story. I've also got the birth announcement. Haven't artifacted it. It's right here. I'll be doing that as well tonight, and Ellen's going to hold me accountable. I'll be sharing them with her. So if she doesn't get them, I can guarantee I'll get a little, hey, how's that going? Nudge, nudge, nudge. A great way to artifact is to have, if you're artifacting with family or friends, have someone that can help hold you accountable. Set a goal. Maybe it's one item a week. Maybe it's one item, every Sunday afternoon, you'll artifact together one item and share it with each other. I think when you're building that baby book, sometimes setting a goal for yourself, and again, don't let perfection stand in the way of progress, but give yourself a goal, follow through one at a time, and you'll see how quickly and easily you'll soon have a timeline of all those artifacts, which is really fun. Now that my daughter's a teenager, she loves viewing her timeline. And in preparation for tonight's evenings, I was asking her, what should I artifact? And she asked me to go to the timeline, and she saw that there was nothing from the year she was born. She was horrified, absolutely horrified. So I've kept my promise. I've now artifacted her first photo at home, and I'll continue to add to these over the next couple of days to ensure that she does at least have a digital baby book, since I still haven't completed that physical one.
I wanted to jump into a couple more comments in chat and questions. So one of them, you're exactly right. People get tied up about the order and the details. And being able to free fly and do whatever you want, I think I agree. Because we also early on, I want to say 6 months into Artifacts, we encountered a lot of members feeling anxious because their artifacts weren't appearing ultimately in the sequence that they wanted them. And so we do have, when you go to your artifacts collection, keep in mind, there's this reorder button. You can literally reorder them if they are bothering you, that they're not in a particular order. You can click and drag them into changing the order as I'm showing here, or you can literally just change the number and then it'll update. So we do give you that option to reorder them, because we found a lot of people, they want to organize their thoughts, they want to organize categories, and that's fine. The other thing, the other question in chat was about, as a grandmother, artifacting. You can't necessarily send a copy of an artifact into someone's account. But when I'm in my own account, I'm just going to click on my circle with my daughter and my face. Yeah. I can go to shared with me. I have over 1,000 artifacts shared with me, and that's where I would find all of them from grandma. So if I would go to shared with me, to find artifacts, I could then put in the screen name of grandma. So I don't have Well, I might have some shared with me by my mother. She is at Mary Loha. So I can always look into the artifacts at a screen name. I do. And I can see all the artifacts shared with me by a particular person. And then if they have shared them explicitly with you, one of the cool features is that you can actually download that as well. So if I wanted to blow up this photo of my mother when she was younger, I could download the photo and put it up on my own wall. So that's a nice feature of when you actually share something directly with someone. I will confess that we've been talking with our advisory board about a future 2025 opportunity where we might be able to gift someone artifacts or request artifacts. So you could actually say to someone, do you remember when we went to Italy together? Could you create an artifact with me about, the being at, wherever in Rome, some special site, and you could actually request someone to like gift you an artifact. So it's something that we're investigating. So your question is spot on. Heather?
Yep. Another feature, Ellen, if you don't mind showing, is the sharing circles. That's another great way if you're going to be sharing artifacts as a family unit or extended family, especially those baby book artifacts or the special first artifacts. It's a different way of viewing and interacting with them than simply just sharing them.
So to create a circle, I'm going to show you that first. I went to the plus menu and I clicked create circle. So here I can put a little photo on my circle. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I don't actually want to do it right now. I can name my circle. I can describe it. This is a circle for family heirlooms of the May family. Contribute anything that you have. And then I can go ahead and add members to the circle. Plus, 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 and it'll keep adding them. And I can go through my contacts and I'll see down below everyone I've added. And then once I am done, I can add a note and send off the invite. They all get an email notification. If they have their notifications from us turned on, they'll also get it in the bell menu. And they'll be able to see who invited them. They'll see your note and they'll have the option to accept or decline. And then once you've had a circle, once you have some, we put them in special collections for now. And I have lots of circles going on here. And here's one that is, my neighbors and me. I do have one with my May family. It's aunts, uncles, first cousins. And I tell them right here, create artifacts to share old and new family heirlooms. I think circles are great for bringing families together without chasing things in like Facebook chat and text message and email and Facebook, wherever. It's all over the place. You can bring it all into one place. I think is really nice. You can view your members. I just have like, here's my cousin. He has not accepted my invite. Shame on him. But I can see the status of everybody as well. I can assign someone else to help me manage the circle, which means they'll be able to send out invites. I can remove people, whatever I want. So we created this so that you have a way to privately share artifacts with a bigger group. The artifacts don't have to be public, as in public on artifacts.com, but they are easily shareable with that. So that means when I go into one of my artifacts now, and I actually just did this last night, I created a new artifact. It's about trench art, and we had featured this in our article today. With this trench art, I actually clicked this share icon, and you'll see it shared with the May family. And how did I do that? Right here at screen name or email address, it says share a specific person or group. Under recent contacts, lower down, okay, we have lists and circles. And so I just chose the circle I wanted, which was the May family. I chose it and I added a note to my May family because this is a really cool piece of World War I history that's in a museum. And the difference, if you're wondering, because usually when I do this, people ask me right away, what is a sharing list? My maiden name is Bowker. A list is the equivalent of creating an artifact and having to say, share to mom, share to dad, share to brother, share to sister, share to Heather. I don't want to share that many times. It's really, really tedious. So I created a sharing list of my Bowker family. It's my parents, my siblings, in-laws, etc. And so if I create an artifact that I want my immediate family to see, I just click the list and each of them gets view access and a notification automatically. So it's a little bit different. People aren't sharing into a circle.
And that's something I love. I'm very biased here, but for us, I have a list that's Team Hazel is right. My daughter's team. Like it's not just the family, but they're really close. You know, the aunts and uncles who maybe really aren't aunts and uncles by blood relations, but they're really close members of our family. I have a list again named Team Hazel. And when I do artifact those items that probably belong in the baby book, I can quickly share them. So that's one of the advantages, unlike a physical baby book, which is subject to wear and tear. And again, in my case, I made that photo book of the first year. It's in rough shape. I can, with artifacts, if I have created that family sharing list, I can click the list and off the artifact goes to those 15, 16 people that are part of Team Hazel. Same thing with the family sharing circles. I can pop the artifacts into the circle and then invite other circle members, like Ellen was saying, to add artifacts for Hazel's first year or her first 5 years. Because again, the grandparents certainly had time with her when I wasn't there. Same thing with those close family, friends, and other relatives. So it's a really nice way to involve others and maybe helping add to the stories, the memories, the photos, the memorabilia of that baby book so it doesn't all fall on you. And Ellen, I think you're probably addressing Karen's question. So we did have a question about legacy and what happens to those artifacts themselves when a loved one dies. Over to you.
Yes. So right now, the way we have it set up, your legacy contacts, I have a primary set up. I can add a secondary. Normally I have a secondary, but I wanted to be able to show you what it looks like without. So we do encourage that, please, because you never know what happens in life. Legacy contacts, you get the information here for yourself. And we also have what do you want to do if your account goes inactive? What if we don't know what's happened to you, right? What do you want us to do with your account? So you'll have that information here. When you put in the person's email and send that off that they're your legacy contact, they get an email as well with a notification of what their rights are in terms of your account. And the options are, they can download all the artifacts, just like I can if I go to my artifacts collection right now and I click download my artifacts. They're yours, not ours. We want them to make that very easy to take them down in their original format. So I can always go here, download my artifacts. And yes, they can also say, please transfer the artifacts of person X into this account. So that's another option that you have available to you. We have not yet decided, but we've had some inquiries recently about memorialization in place and kind of a one-time fee to keep them in place in a non-editable fashion. It's something that we'd love feedback on as time goes on, but right now the options are download or transfer.
Great. All right, folks, are there any other questions? If not, we've got a question for you all. What's going to be the first item you artifact for your digital baby book? Now, having seen some of our favorite items and also hearing some of our lessons learned over the years. Karen says baby outfit. Love it. That is also on my list too.
I love it. You get bonus points if you have the outfit and a photo of someone wearing it.
Yeah, Ellen's got a great artifact. She saved some of her daughter's dresses from early on. And it's really sweet because, again, sometimes you end up saving stuff and fabrics and textiles degrade over time. So it's a great way to combine. This is the photo of the outfit. This is dear daughter or dear son in this outfit. You put them together with the story, and it's a really sweet way to remember.
Baby blankets. That's another really good one.
We've got a lot of baby blankets artifacted on Artifacts.
I felt really sad when I had to add a tag on my baby blanket that said vintage. I was like, oh, well, it's a good vintage.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pull up. I think folks have made a lot of their baby blankets public, actually. I'm going to pull that up.
Custom cakes. I am intrigued.
Mhm.
Did you make custom cakes? Oh, that's just to host and panelists. Everyone's probably thinking I'm talking to myself. But we have an entry for custom cakes. That's really amazing.
And I'm popping in some of the public baby blankets we have so you can get some further inspiration.
My mother gave me a box of photos totally unorganized. How do you recommend I digitize them prior to creating artifacts? Okay, this is actually a trick question, and we'll give you the two-sided answer. And I had a call with someone about this today, actually, because for a lot of us, Using an app like PhotoMine to scan whole pages even and cut out the photos automatically for you is good enough. If, however, you are really keen on the highest quality, highest resolution version of those images that you can get, then you really do need a professional scanner to do justice. And that might still be a high resolution JPEG type file, or it might even be a higher still resolution TIFF file. Takes up even more storage, but there's actually a lot of free storage options like Amazon Photos and Google Photos. So it depends on how you want to do that. So you can do that yourself. You can get a scanner. You can bring it to a shop locally that does digitization work. Or if you have a more comprehensive project, you're thinking, yeah, I have all of these photos and I have all this digital stuff. And there's an organization called the Photo Managers, and they actually train professional photo managers. And they have index where you can actually go and check out and find someone local in your area. And we work extensively with them. They're amazing humans. They know their stuff. They can understand what your goals are. Like if you're telling them, and we actually have an Artifacts for Professionals membership and platform for professionals. And a lot of our pro members are photo organizers. And it's very logical, right? Because it's really great. And it's a relief to get these things digitized. But then what? And they are really great at helping you with the then what. And sometimes that is actually helping you with the artifacting. So when it comes to those box of photos, and we have an article that Heather can pop in the chat about VHS and negatives as well. The other thing to think about is there's going to be a cost involved. If you have your own scanner at home, it's going to be a lower ultimate cost than if you're sending them off into a legacy box or iMemories or a couple of companies that we know. Then there's also the like fear of if you don't want to send it off, you can go local. But either way, there's gonna be a cost there. So recently when I digitized some stuff for this article that she popped in some negatives, I got rid of a lot of like all the old boyfriends and stuff. I didn't need all of that. Like I was not going to pay to digitize certain pieces of my life. Like I was ready to let it go. They weren't that great of photos anyway. So I do think that you might want to think about if you actually want to digitize all of them, depending on the cost. Heather, did I do okay?
No, fabulous. And we have the link to the photo managers in chat as well. Again, phenomenal resource. And if you want someone just to handle it for you, they're our go-to. And then also the article about what to do with those old VHS tapes and negatives. We were shocked to learn that the VHS tapes degrade fairly rapidly over time. They're not meant to be around for forever. So Ellen actually artifacted some snippets of her very cute, I think it was 4 or 5-year-old self from those old
Oh,
family.
embarrassing.
Fabulous. All right, folks, any other questions before we adjourn tonight? For those of you who will be joining us next week, we'll send out the invite. We sent it out in today's newsletter. But for those of you who this is your first time, you didn't get our blog article, we'll be talking all things paper and ephemera next week. So if you've got bins of old greeting cards, holiday cards, notes or notebooks, maybe your research, your PhD, yeah, anything that's paper. We'll be talking through how to artifact that next week and showing you some real life examples, going through the checklist, and hopefully leaving you inspired to tackle all that stuff. So as always, if you'd like to watch a rerun of this, you can view this and all of our previous episodes of Evenings with Artifacts on our YouTube channel. You can also, again, access the checklist. We pop that in the chat at the beginning of this, but those checklists are all free, downloadable resources to help you go through your stuff and create and preserve those lasting memories, share with children, grandchildren. My daughter really does love when she gets those artifacts from me, especially things that she can't remember, but she's fascinated by from her early childhood. So with that, we want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And good luck with making those beautiful digital baby scrapbooks on Artifacts. So thank you so much, folks. Have a good night.
Good night.